Hey everybody, this is Hope Castle. I'm just kind of bored today on this Saturday, so I'm just going to work on Hope Castle. And actually, while I'm there, I'm actually going to, since of course I'm by myself here, let me grab some music here. Just going to play some of this. Some Shamalove music that I'm a patron of. I'll just play that in the background while I'm just kind of streaming here. I'm just going to be working on more of the clovers here of Hope Castle. So last night during Friday Night Bricks, I did get a couple more built. I have the new stem. So if you missed episode last night, the new stem is a little narrower than the last one. And so, but I did build two more of the clovers. So I got one with a hole and built another one. So, and they're only going to be four plates thick. So I'll actually hopefully save some brick. I do have some of the old stuff I can take apart too, but we're going to go ahead and build a little bit of this. So, hey, brick fella. Yeah, sorry about last night. Yeah, everybody vacated the stream right as you were ready to jump on. So apologize about that. I saw your comment right after I kind of ended it. I'm like, oh, so I apologize. My bad. I think everybody else was tired. I don't think it helped that Lego had a very disappointing set release yesterday. Had they released more of the minifigure scale stuff, might have streamed a little bit longer. We might have been talking about some of that stuff. Maybe a few more people purchasing stuff, but that's kind of what happens is when when you're disappointed, it carries over into the stream. So I'm just going to do some building here. It's not going to be super exciting, and I'll kind of try and. No, I know. Oh, I know. I mean, I think that was why I think it might have been slower last night too. I know I got a message from Larry. I must have missed it. That said he had stuff going on. He wasn't going to be on. Kevin was working on stuff, or Hinkle was working on stuff, so he wasn't here. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't had a lot. I was hoping for somebody new to show up last night. They didn't show up, so I don't know. Something probably came up. So, yeah, it's no big deal. No big dealio. So, but just I'm gonna have some music playing in the background, just some the non-copyright stuff. So, I downloaded a bunch of the new ones that I hadn't downloaded yet. So, I'm not sure which one this one is. Might be. I'm guessing it's the song, the song "Past," I believe. So, if it's going in order of the way I kind of grabbed them. So kind of cool. So other than that, I mean, yeah, this is just so for people to look at. I mean, this is my mold for building one of my, the clovers. As you can see, this is where the plates are. Yeah, I mean, and this it's possible the stores have stuff, but I mean, the online didn't have anything. So I mean, obviously, it would be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, there were posts from some April's of Facebook, and then even some of the like the Denver people posted that some of the lines were out there and stuff were out there. So I mean, obviously I'm just not I mean, I'm not gonna spend my money on some of the stuff that's out there. And technically, this is the one piece. I mean, if this one piece showed up back up on the pick-a-brick wall, I could guarantee I would work super hard to get a few more $100 in funds. I mean, I probably have at least 100 or 200 in funds I would spend overnight on this stuff right away. I mean, if the 1x2 pure plate Lego, if it showed up on the wall tomorrow, I would spend minimum $100, maybe $2 just on cups of plates. So, but yeah, I mean, I have tons. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have tons of plates. But it'd always be nice to have more so that the expansion of Hope Castle is not limited. I mean, right now it's limited to what I have. I mean, obviously I've got a few bags like this, but you have to realize too, the town was decimated. I took the town apart So it means the clover can go higher. So it could truly be hoping for maybe more of like a Disney style castle where you've got different levels at different heights. I mean, it was starting to get to that level, and it, you know, wasn't super tall, but it could do that. Plus, with the fact that the new expansion, I mean, I need to rebuild a lot of my wall sections, and so the wall sections are all going to have entryways now. They'll all have the doorways in the walls. So here's a wall section here. So this wall section will no longer be a, you know, solid here. It'll have a doorway on the end. And, you know, I think the consensus on my Instagram was the fact that, and rather than having the bunks and stuff built into the walls, I might have just stationary ones. That way they can go wherever they need to go, I'm guessing. So let's see. It looks like that wall section's falling apart anyways. I mean, I do need to build some new eating levels too. I mean, these guys are going to go to like almost double the size, or at least probably about 10 longer. So they'll be pretty good sized here. So, but that's where the dining areas will be. I mean, they might stay in the walls. I mean, I don't know if I really want to, you know, I mean, that might be a good spot, you know, that way they're eating, you know, and able to get back on guard duty rather quickly. So, but yeah, so I'm just going to build today. You know, don't have much going on. Don't have a girlfriend, don't have a wife. Obviously, I'm living at home right now. Obviously, moving from Colorado, just, you know, didn't really want to move. I had lots of good networks out there, but the living thing kind of fell apart, and this is the one way to get out of the job I was kind of stuck in. I was stuck on a project at my old employer and just couldn't get off the project no matter how I tried. So I just kind of felt that was the easy way to get away from that too. So it was a monumental move. So, but definitely closer to the brick world and all that stuff. So, you know, Whistler welcomed me with open arms. So that's kind of nice too. And, you know, that's always a good thing. You know, I still talk to a lot of the members in the Denlug group that I co-founded with some of the early members of the group. Sean Kelly, not the Sean Kelly from the other parts of the Midwest. There was my friend Sean Kelly out in Colorado, a couple of people from the Lego store, and then, you know, just, I mean, that was always fun. That kind of helped. I was a member of Kyle Lug originally, so. Hey Raptus, how's it going? Just doing some building today. So just gonna build more clovers. I'm gonna get some of the base ones done. That way I can build up the sides. I still have to at least transfer one name to one of these at some point. A little bit smaller. I'll have to see how well it works with the smaller size now. A little bit smaller, but I should have taken a picture last night instead of just showing it on the video. I'll have to go find that image, but it does look like it's gonna work the way I had intended. So, but yeah. So I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of. I mean, I'm wondering if there were as many videos as everybody planned today, because obviously I think everybody was expecting a lot more sets to be released. I think everybody was hoping for the Harry Potter. People were hoping for some of the Ninjago, and so it's kind of, you know, probably you know, for the most part, a rather uneventful launch setup. So, you know, but people who, you know, were waiting for the piano got it. And if they were looking for the Mickey Mouse, they got it. But and the Super Mario, I mean, I'm a gamer too, but trust me, the games I play are not quite like the ones that like that stuff. Not those games. I mean, I did play, you know, pre that I was on the Commodore and stuff over the years, playing a lot of the games back in the day. If my Commodore worked, it'd be kind of fun to stream some of those. Otherwise, I'm a big strategy guy, guys. So I mean, Age of Empires 3, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. Actually, one of the guys from the Dakotas that used to live in Colorado messaged me the other day. He changed his phone number. I used to play with a bunch of guys when we played Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds based on the Age of Empires engine. We actually had a guild called Team Supreme, with members across the globe. We were fairly good. I wasn't one of the better players, but I was good at gathering resources. And if my base was annihilated, I surely made sure I was still helping the rest of my team. So that was a fun game to play. Kind of missed that one. I downloaded it on Steam. You know, Kevin, I'm just doing a little building today. You know, so I'm just building, you know, some clovers. So I'm bored. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife. You know, the only day I really get to look forward to every week is Wednesday, on my work day. So I get to see somebody I really like to talk to. So I'm just gonna do this. Listen to some of this newer music that I downloaded from the other Patreon person other than yourself. So figured you'd be busy too. So, well, yeah, it's your day, Kevin, to do all your chores. I mean, I probably need to get out and mow the lawn at some point. Except it really isn't. The front yard really isn't growing much. I mean, there's lots of gray tan spots. If it rains, I probably should dig out some of that old fertilizer and stuff and try and throw it on the lawn and see if it helps. But I haven't had much rain lately, so the lawn isn't growing. So I mean, obviously mowing them is like merely a formality. So I mean, you know, I mean, I can mow in the height when the weather's adding and the grass is growing. I think it takes you know, at least one, maybe two lawnmower loads. You know, emptying it twice. But today I could probably do the whole thing front and back. So. Yeah, I mean, maybe that might be it. I mean, maybe you don't have to mow it. I mean, not unless I start fertilizing it or something. It probably needs some help. It needs some love. It needs some love. I just talked to my brother when he was here, and I forgot to. So, hey, Cy, how's it going? Hey, Brett's Builds. Hey. So, no, it's just, you know, as you can see, you know, it's harder to see here because of the glare, because of the clear. But obviously, and that's why it's got the checkered look, so you can kind of see where the plates are filling in slowly. But I'm just kind of going to build more of the clovers. I mean, obviously more like this guy here. So I guess I should lay that down in the background here somewhere where people can see it. So yeah, I mean, I did a few things last night. So I mean, if we're at every 2 weeks, my brother was just here, was it last weekend? So I probably don't need to mow until next week. So I don't know. My mom's got a lot of fancy flowers. So the kicker is, I mean, if she says I need to mow it, I'll have to go out and mow it. But she probably doesn't even know I'm awake. She probably come down here and say, "You never went to bed, did you?" And, probably get away with saying that. I'm actually kind of doing laundry too. So I can't remember the last time I actually folded my shirts, but I folded my the t-shirts, all of the Hinkle exclusive t-shirts. Washed all those, folded those. Those are my t-shirts under my work shirts. Hey 80s, how 80s is life? Welcome. So it's just kind of a slow day. We'll see how long I stream. You know, obviously, technically, I could build clovers until as far as my heart's content, obviously, because obviously I'm getting ready. They're all over there in one of my new boxes. I'll actually turn the camera. So the white box is that white box right there is a spice box that they got, this one here. And so all the clovers in there right now. So that one's going to be that might be the new transport boxes. Might be getting away from the tubs, going back to a square box that actually everything sits better. So I mean, I guess I can probably pull that into view. So basically, this is the box with all the so the clover is in here. So the old clover is in here. So you know, you can see. So this is one of the old clover levels, and this is the new one. So the new one is actually going to be probably not much smaller. Actually, it'll probably almost fit inside the old one a little bit. But I changed the I did change the whole configuration of it because it seemed like it was giving me some weird. I think when I built it originally, built it kind of scratch hand, it was each clover was a little bit different. It's more symmetrical now, so kind of thing. So I wish I knew. What are we playing right now? Wartime. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to listen to a little bit of music. Hopefully, you guys can hear the music. Hoping. If you can't, let me know. It's just I think that's how you pronounce it. Ashamalu Music. So I mean, he's out on Patreon. So him and Kevin, Mr. Hinkle, are the two Patreons that I'm regular to. So I mean, obviously, I don't know which one gets which, but I think I'm splitting 25, which I think, by the way, was the amount that I was paying for the shirt subscription anyways. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I can do Patreon somehow for the castle. Don't really have much to give away otherwise. I mean, I could do for a small membership, I guess I could do the ribbons, which actually I do have a bunch of the like badge magnets. You just put that in the middle, and you can just wear it like if you wear it on like a dark shirt like this with the clear, you can see the ribbon type thing. So I have a gold one floating around somewhere, but I think it kind of fell apart. But I have a gold one I've worn at a couple of the shows and stuff. And I did have them on the Creations for Charity auction one year. Didn't sell. More of a fine-tuned type thing. So, but yeah, so just going to kind of build today. And maybe you can probably since I've actually confirmed that this is the new size, all of those can go apart. And there are 8 of them that are the original ones, and then the one for Maggie, which would actually stay together, which is actually down here on the floor with her name on it. So I just got Ice Bear still on it, kind of guarding it. So, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm just kind of building. I mean, obviously it's nothing super exciting. I don't have anybody else in here. I'm not really sure, I'd really want anybody else in here today. I mean, obviously, I don't know, Kevin. We'll see. I'm almost going to see if, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So basically, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just depends. I mean, obviously the castle can, obviously I can do a fair amount of building with this. I mean, obviously you saw the bag over here. I mean, this is one of 2 or 3 of these guys. I mean, this is a 2-gallon size bag. So I can do a fair amount of building for today, but hopefully you can hear the music. So if I'm not talking, you can still hear. This is intensity, energetic music. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, I guess it depends on if the voice from above yells down and says I need to do something or whatnot. Will depend on what happens. But this is kind of everybody will get a kick out of this. I mean, I don't know if you can always see it that well, but there's a little gap, like right here, where that should be right next to the brick, but for some reason with plates and tiles, there's a fraction of a gap, and the only way you see it is when you build something like this, where it's like it's off by almost a quarter of a tile. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess if I was using a darker plate, you'd probably see it, but. So kind of let's that's the goal today. So we'll see. I don't know. Might stream for a little bit. I mean, obviously, you know, well, it doesn't do me any good for streaming tons of times because I mean, I'm not at a lot of subscribers right now, so I don't make anything off of it. But you know, I'm here for your enjoyment. Anybody, you know, welcome to ask me questions about the castle. Obviously, this is the major remodel. I mean, obviously, I might try and do some streams from storage as the weather starts to cool off, as I start to do a lot of the rock work and elevation changes. So okay, so now we got one whole level done, and actually, I don't know if I can even get this close enough to see, but if you look there, you can see that gap. That's kind of what's just weird is you get that gap there. So I mean, and then when I put together, I got to make sure I'm pushing it to keep the gap from becoming a big factor. So, and that's why it kind of gets alternated too. I mean, and actually at 4 thick, the 5 thick might have been overkill when I used to do the 5. So these will slide around a little bit. Oh shoot. That's the only kicker by alternating like that. No, you know what? This configuration is kind of, otherwise I'm going to have maybe some weird setup here. So let's see here. Let's try it this way. It's a matter of trying to figure out maybe what's gonna happen in advance when it's all together. So this is bold. This song is the bold one. So I'll have to actually. I actually need to go back and I'll have to go back and make sure I credit him on in the description as I change it. See, this is where it kind of gets kind of crazy as the stand the keyboard vertically, give me a little bit more room to work. But see, slide the marker back. Maybe when I cleaned it up the last time, I do a really good job of setting it up. I do like the pad. This is one of those Corsair like mouse pads. It's the long one. I mean, it's probably 2.5 feet long. So I mean, it's nice. It's a nice cloth for, you know, my plates and stuff are on a hard surface. The building, so it's kind of a nice thing to do, I guess. They're sitting on a water ceramic top getting all scratched. So this is Storm trailer music. This is actually one of his newer ones. This one, I actually like this one. This one's actually pretty good. I'm going to turn this one up a little bit. What? Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's the end of that one, but that's good, Kevin. Nothing like scaring me out like I'm losing audio. You know, I guess I probably should take. Hopefully I'm actually, since you guys are hearing me, I'm obviously must have the right. Yeah, I have the right one. It's not like this one ever really kind of gets it. Actually, I almost been looking at kind of some of the other ones out there too to see if I want to get another webcam. I mean, because to me it seems like I've still got some glitches stuff where I think it looks pretty good on some of my stuff, and other stuff it doesn't look as good. So, I don't know if that's internet or if that's something with OBS or whatever. So, obviously this is you know what? Actually, I know I should have gone here. Ooh, let's see. I don't know if I can type like that. Yeah, because obviously, I mean, I was doing, because obviously I do the build stuff. Hey, Bagel Lover. So, this is just a spontaneous build. So, I mean, obviously, I've been using this. I used this scene for most of last night. But, I've got the different ones that I've been using a little bit. So, and for anybody who missed last night, Turner's dad, JB, did jump on last night for a little bit at one point. Talked about an order that he had just gotten that showed up from Russia. It'll probably end up showing up some point. I mean, I did tell him. I mean, obviously the one level. I mean, I've got the base for the new level for Turner for Memorial Tower. That'll obviously make its debut at Brick World Chicago 2021. I mean, so even if it gets built beforehand, it probably will not make a public appearance until then. This one is Upbeat Summer Party. And Mr. Hinkle is just, I think he's doing errands today, so he's out running around. So he will be probably a lurker. Yeah. So I don't know. It also depends on, because it's YouTube, and so YouTube is one of those things that you have to keep open. to listen to everything. It's that's one of the downfalls to that one, just for the simple fact that it's, you know, it's going to suck your battery. I think that's one of those things where on the Fridays, I mean, that was one of those issues I had. I think the one Friday where I listened to like the whole stream and it wasn't charging at all when it was plugged into the, and maybe actually I was using a newer truck, and so I had like the Bluetooth hooked up, and so the battery was pretty low by the end of a Friday stream, even though that was only a couple hours. But some of that stuff sucks the battery life. YouTube and such. Google Maps is another one. So yeah, it's just spontaneous. I might end up I'll probably be on, you know, Saturday Night Lego, I'm guessing, tonight. I probably need to run out to storage if I'm going to do what I promised someone else I was going to do on the stream. So I do not have that stuff here. I guess I should have thrown it into my vehicle last night. And the little pieces that I had left over from one of the things I took apart are gone. So the question is, I'll put that on hold. I'm going to do this. So we're going to we'll take an upper level apart. So we're going to take one of these apart. So I didn't run through all those songs already? Really? No way. Guess so. Wow, it did. Okay. So I'm going to go through them again. This is Past. Title Past. And obviously, for those of us that have been, you know, alive for many years, I mean, anything that says past, you know, obviously gets my memory going to a lot of different things in the past and whatnot. It's just got that song. I mean, generally music as a whole, when I listen to certain music, it'll take me back to different memories and whatnot, you know, things that maybe had happened or whatnot. And so, I mean, that's kind of one thing that's nice about the human brain is, you know, when you listen to music and stuff, it generally should, you know, take you somewhere, and you know, it's going to take you to, you know, hopefully memories that were, you know, important when you were listening to that song. I mean, obviously, my favorite upbeat song, obviously, is a song that probably does not go over very well with today's society, with the fact that there's lots of shootings and stuff. But my favorite upbeat song, or at least one of the ones I like to listen to the most, and is "Shoot Me With Your Love" by Dream. It's a European band, but I mean, obviously, I encountered that in the jukebox at the bowling center back in like 93, 94, and I definitely put love to crank that sucker at the end of the night when I was working. I think once I actually was able to get that CD, I think I definitely cranked it even more. But slow song probably, "Don't Answer Me" by Alan Parsons Project. That's definitely one that I remember the music video from MTV and such. Lots of good stuff out there, though. Lots of good songs. I mean, I listen to a lot. I use was it Shazam or whatever on the phones to find stuff. Music, though, I think I've got, I don't even know how it tells me. Oh, hold on. It doesn't tell me how many I've got. Hundreds, I know. Probably not as many pictures. I think I got 10,000 pictures on my phone, so. Oh, what was that? Well, something fell off. Oh, you know what? That might have been the one thing I was looking for the other night, was the other piece. One thing I do know is separating tiles from plates. I'm eating up a lot of my edges on my brick separator, so that's why I've got a whole I got this one here, so I got a few, so I'm ready to go. A couple ice bears on their crutches mixed in there. Made an order from Brick Warriors a week and a half ago for some stuff that he had. Crutches were one of the main things, some glow-in-the-dark stuff and whatnot. So I'm just gonna be these stickers. Just I guess I can try and use my fingers, but man. Just not as much. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to have to maybe order some bigger tiles. I just happen to have a lot of the 1x1s, the 1x1 tiles from clear and trans black that I ended up ordering on Lug Bulk, and so as you can see, they are checkered on there. Didn't have many of the 1x4s. They were an early one. Kind of kicked myself now. Wish I probably ordered a lot more of those. And I tried to keep towards the end here, tried to use the coloring on the tiles and stuff. Tried to keep the coloring symmetrical. The old Keep and stuff had like a trans blue and stuff. No, I mean, in terms of, depending on what was released, but basically what we saw on Chopping Home last night said there was nothing out there. So, it was, why would I go out? There was nothing. Okay, so see now, my band is blowing up. Yes, September 1st date for new sets is confirmed by one of the managers at one of the Lego stores in Colorado. So that's kind of the kicker. Was somebody went to the store and she says, yes, your September 1st date for new sets is confirmed by so-and-so this morning. So it's one of those things where, for me, all there was Mario, the piano, Mickey and Mouse, the Iron Man mosaic, the NES. None of that stuff interests me. Piano's freaking expensive. And that's why even last night I said, I'm saving a ton of money by not being close to a Lego store, because, even when I was near a Lego store, even if there weren't 1x2 clear plates, I was buying a fair amount of brick. So I do have a lot of brick in my collection. And that's why the sets, I can sell the sets now and not be, not feel terrible, because I would have bought the sets back in the day for maybe 1 or 2 pieces, and so now I'm buying pieces. I'm ordering stuff on Bricklink and whatnot. But to me, it's the because that's the thing. Basically, it's one of those things where I think they delayed a lot of the releases. Now in Europe. On my stream last night, somebody who has connections with Europe did say that the 501st battle pack was available, I guess, online in Europe last night, and that one sold out in like 10 minutes. So, there's that chance that, once they're available here in the U.S., now that they're even delayed even farther, means they might sell out even faster, because then there's going to be more people talking about them for a much longer period of time. So, it's crazy. But there's a possibility. Didn't somebody say a lot of the new sets that we were supposed to get during a non-pandemic we were supposed to get like months ago? Maybe those are out, but I don't know what those were, because I'm not thinking that far back now. I'm thinking more of what everybody's been talking about, of the sets that everybody thought was coming out. So if there's sets that are new ones that are out there, I'll see them next week when I hit the stores. It's not like I need anything desperately, other than stuff for the castle. That's part of the reason I guess I take it apart, is because I want to make sure I have the parts for the castle without having to take it apart later. So if I take it apart now, I'm forcing myself to make the change. So basically I've got the new level. So it's smaller than the last one, narrower. It's a little bit longer, which I thought was quite humorous, by an extra stud, which kind of was weird for even looking at the base when I started it, looking at the mold, it kind of threw me off. But and there's so much out there. If you're someone who likes, let's say you're someone who builds city. I mean, was there any new city sets? No. I mean, so the city sets have been out there forever. Now, if there's if city sets made the shelf that were supposed to come out normally 2 or 3 months ago that hadn't made it to the U.S. yet, well, then yeah, then those are out there. But I mean, is this something I absolutely need? No. Technically, there's not anything you absolutely need. Now, if you're somebody who's been stuck at home and you're either having to work from home or even you're not working and you're stuck at home and you have money, well then yeah, you're probably going a little crazier than the rest of us. I mean, I work 5 days a week, so I mean, I'm not, because I deliver stuff. I deliver food products, so I mean, I'm working 5 days a week. I get home, I do whatever. You know, I hear doors closing upstairs. There's a good possibility I might have to mute myself here. So I'm having issues trying to get some of this stuff apart here. So, but yeah, so this song is Memory. So, but yeah, I mean, like Brett Spell said, I mean, there was probably nothing new. I mean, the people who wanted the piano probably got it. The NES got it. I mean, and we saw a few people last night order some of that stuff. You know, I'm kind of more about, you know, the bricks, and so I mean, bricks and pieces is the thing that I'm kind of watching pretty heavily these days, seeing what shows up out there that could be useful. But I mean, I guess we'll see. So I'm just going to take this apart. This will go a lot quicker once I get all these tiles off. The tiles are just what's taking this the longest. So I'd like to keep my fingers. My fingers are already kind of getting a little numb. So if it was more of the 1x4 tiles, it wouldn't be so bad. But a lot of 1x1 tiles and such here just do not come apart very easily. So well, I mean, in the NES, I mean, it was available last night, you know, I mean, because a couple people got it. But the problem is just like anything else, like, you know, Mr. Hinkle and I always laugh about it, is the website's been crashing, you know, for years, you know, every time new releases come out. So it's one of those things where it's just, it taxes the system. So, you know, I guess you got to get lucky and, you know, get in there at the right time and hopefully everything's working fast enough. But yeah, I mean, after a while, it was just one of those things where pages weren't loading. So a few moments of silence in there, which will be kind of weird, but okay. I'm sure we can use that for whatever. And this song is summer upbeat music. So See, I can sneak to the basement, and my mom doesn't even know I'm awake. See, I love it. But like, she's getting stir crazy, so she'll go for a drive. I mean, it's just, you know, it's crazy right now, crazy. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's. I'll probably end up doing some gaming a little bit here later too. I mean, I can only do so much Lego, and then need to kind of take a break and open up Steam and play some of the games I like. Unfortunately, the one that I like to play right now, most people aren't going to want to play with me since it's a turn-based game, and definitely as it gets as you get farther in the game, your turns get a little bit longer. Generally speaking, you know, you're discovering the new world, and it's pretty cool. I mean, the graphics are, you know, so-so, but, you know, once you've played it enough, I mean, it's interesting. I think I've actually been doing a notepad on my phone, trying to track the different sizes. So if I do so many land seeds or so many water seeds for a random map, what kind of configuration do I get? Do I have a chance to be on an island, you know, like a Bahamas or something, where I'm not going to have, you know, a big powerful nation just trying to invade all the time. So, you know, when you're on one big continent, you just don't know. You don't know who's coming to dinner the next day to just decide to take you out. So, this one is war. This is back to that war music again. So, might have to open up. Probably rebuilt it. I mean, you know, Lego's one of those companies. You know, it's one of those wild things too. Is it's just, you know, I can't believe, you know, people do that. I actually had a good thought about that, you know, a while back, like a week or so ago, but I can't think of it at the top of my head right now. But yeah, it's one of those things where they rebuilt it. I'm sure it's one of those things where, I mean, well, if you think about it, one of the stores that you know, Kevin and I know, Colorado Mills, had a hailstorm, and the hailstorm like totaled the store. I mean, they rebuilt that one. They actually totaled the whole mall basically, and they rebuilt that one. I mean, obviously the rent was pretty cheap. I doubt the rent in Flatirons is very cheap. But the other thing too is it's possible that, you know, if you're still paying rent, you want to get back up and running as soon as possible if you're going to stay open so that you can pay the rent. I don't think everything froze in this country like you wish it would have, like all rents and everything else. I mean, we still have a company that wants to function, so, you know, you're still paying for stuff. So, but they probably wanted to get back up and running. I mean, they're probably in a primo location, and so, you know, you want to. I'm going to dump all the clear ones in here in the middle. So you want to get back up and running and be able to make money and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, that's, you know, gotta make ends meet and make money. And so Lego, I'm sure, was just like, well, let's get back up and running. And so. Well, and Lego's one of those companies. There's probably too is, you know, since it's been selling tons of Lego and stuff, might have a lot more operating capital than some of the other stores that and businesses that have been struggling, and so they probably figure, you know what, let's do it now, you know, and whatnot. I mean, it's one of those things where I just can't believe people are just, you know, that people think looting is just gonna help anything. So I mean, that whole thing, that whole scenario is just mind-boggling and crazy anyways to begin with. But, you know, I'm sure it's, you know, let's see, what do we got here? Energetic music, intensity. We're already full looped around. I might have to figure out where the rest of that music is. It's not going to be on, not where this stuff is, just for the simple fact that this is all that new hard drive, so they don't have it. It's all in a pen drive somewhere. But Well, the other problem too is, yeah, they loot, then they damage stuff, and then you're right, and the store gets rebuilt, and like change, and but there's always change, and there's always stuff like that. I mean, I have lots of memories from like the Lego store at Colorado Mills back in the day when they had the concrete floor. Actually, I was joking. Actually, let's see if I can find that picture. Where was that picture I was looking at? Oh, saved from Flickr. See, this is something from the old days of the Lego store at Colorado Mills. Joking with my brother, I says, "Hey, doesn't this look like fun work or something?" And I don't know. My brother and sister couldn't even. They were like, "We don't even make sense of this." I mean, it's a Lego store. Our job is to play. Oh, now I remember his name. Robert Peterson in the background was the other guy that was from out east that actually had ended up getting a bunch of those trans orange neon heads when because he supposedly has a giant moon base. I've never even seen. He never had pictures. I never got to see that giant moon base of his that he had built years ago. But he talked about it. So, but yeah, those were the fun days at the Lego store. It was a little slower. We played a little bit. The different foam swords and stuff. Actually, that person, I think, is the one that actually got my motorized AT-AT. I think I actually, motorized AT-AT. I'm pretty sure I he traded me a regular one and I gave him the motorized one. But he was an engineering student at School of Mines, so that one probably was a little bit better for him. Once I saw the motorized AT-AT moving around in a city at one of the shows, like maybe Estes Park, I realized, I guess I should have kept that one. But they always say hindsight's 20/20. You always remember what you missed when you get rid of something. So, oh well. Take this apart. Definitely didn't have as many 1x4 clear plate tiles as I'd hoped they had, but yeah, cool if they made even like maybe a 1x4 white plate, a clear plate. That'd be kind of cool. Guess you build something, you gotta have an application for it, I guess. So. So Mr. Hinkle's out running errands and all that fun stuff. Yeah. If I'm here, I'm here. Catch you later, bagel lover. Tiles. Suckers just get eaten alive at the end of that. Okay, so all tiles are done. Let me look at something. I saw something here. So, yeah, so I'm just going to keep doing this. So, need to get comfortable. Probably a nice day outside, too, but I just don't feel like being outside. So. At least it looked like it was nice earlier, So. Don't have luckily enough of the other pieces in here, just from the simple fact that didn't do a lot of texturing on these. I mean, this one obviously has full on texture. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to see if that ends up biting me later on, but we'll see. So, I mean, because obviously it'll be hidden behind the clovers, and so this one you can see only had texture on the end, you know, and an exposed area. I think this might be the better course of action. Obviously, it doesn't have it on the bottom, but I guess the upper levels I could do that a little bit, texture it. I mean, I guess how does it look? I mean, the only place you'd see it on that would be as if it's actually elevated. It might look a little strange. I guess maybe on the upper levels I might have to do that. The lower section might be hidden within elevated mills type setup where it'll have like snow and whatnot. So. Who knows? Maybe I'll just do hour segments or something and come back and do some later or something. We'll see. Is anybody else live today too? I guess. I don't like to stumble upon other stuff too. So if there's other people, that's the other kickers. I don't like to stream on top of other people if I can avoid it. You know, I mean, that's kind of why I picked the Friday night. Obviously, early on. Obviously, it's one of those things too where, I mean, I'm gonna have nights where I'm gonna have people, and I'm gonna have nights where I don't have people, and so obviously I'm competing during the school year. I'd be competing with well, not this year because of what's going on, but normally be competing with high school football and whatnot. So, but that's why I did have to. I think I missed one last year. I went to one of my nephew's football games. I try to avoid missing them. It's nice to not. It's nice to have a consistency. So, but we'll see. The goal here is to try to keep this stuff organized as I go down, so I don't just sort it later. But I don't know. I don't know really what else to talk about other than the fact that, you know, this, with all the shows, all the conventions being probably pretty much shuttered for most of the year. I mean, I don't think the virus isn't getting any better, you know, obviously right now, and it's one of those things where a lot of it, I think, just comes down to the fact that I think nobody ever wanted to be inside for as long, you know, stuck inside as long as they have, and it's frustrating because everybody wants to get out and do stuff. I mean, I still see people playing in the parks and everything else. I mean, in the end, is it going to be something that's going to get better? Probably not. I mean, I'm probably thinking at this point we're going to be stuck in this lifestyle for some time. I mean, hindsight's 2020. Had we probably done a massive lockdown type kind of thing, which it kind of sounds like what they did pretty much in Europe, where they pretty much shut down pretty much just about everything. You know, I mean, in the end, I mean, if they'd have done something more like that and been a little bit more stricter on that, I mean, it's possible that we could be, you know, over the hump completely. But it's, you know, we're a country. It's a democracy. You know, it's one of those things where there's, you know, lots of people that are, you know, part of that decision-making process, and in the end, it's one of those things where I think it'll just be interesting to see. But I mean, you know, it's sad that we're in a point where we're kind of super duper shut down, and in some points, but I mean, everybody, I think, just can't handle being cooped up that long. I mean, so it's one of those things where kind of watching my chat from the band app for Denlug, they were talking about stuff. So to me, it just, I mean, luckily I have a job where I'm working. If I didn't have a job where I was working, I might be a little crazy too. Obviously, my Lego collection will hopefully be a lot more organized. But I think the kicker I'd be worried about is, I mean, would I be able to still afford my, you know, where my Lego collection's at, you know? So I definitely wouldn't have room to have it anywhere else. So, not unless I, had a girlfriend or something, or was living somewhere else. I mean, there's just not any room here for it. That's for sure. That's kind of the kicker, is there just isn't enough space here for it. So, not for my amount of Lego I got. Kevin's seen it. It's pretty excessive, pretty crazy. I mean, in terms of at least from the fact of its, unopened sets is pretty crazy. Amount of poly bags, pretty crazy. Piece wise, I mean, I don't know. Probably, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, once if I figure it out, I mean, probably comparable. I mean, we probably pretty close to each other for parts. I mean, I bought a ton. I mean, then again, he might have been buying a lot more when I wasn't, when he got to the corporate office and stuff. But it's just one of those things where it's nice to have a lot, but it's also kind of a hindrance too. So something to think about. I mean, I absolutely missed out on a lot of life by being single, pretty much my whole life. No kids, no wife, missed out on all that. So I mean, everybody probably looks at me and says, "Wow, he's been lucky." I mean, yeah, I mean, I got a lot of stuff I want and I like, but in the end too, I mean, I do my fair share of reckless spending and stuff. So what the heck? Oh, my hand is really starting to not work. That's not working. So I don't know. We'll see how long. I might go like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll probably go a little bit longer. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll go to the end of this module and then take a break. We'll see how long this takes. Or at least the top walls, anyways. My hands tend to, my hands going a little numb too, so probably need to grab something to eat at some point. I've got some snacks, but snacks probably aren't the best thing to eat. So. I see my hands just feeling, they're just falling asleep because it's just not doing enough. Or the fact, old age is setting in. Just creeps up once in a while. Well, we're not drinking enough of the right fluid. It should gain a fair amount of pieces just from the simple fact that each one of these guys is five layers thick, so that's a fair amount of. It should be a fair amount of plates. The carpet's not darkly colored enough. Oh, look at that. We're done with sound. Well, two trips here is probably enough for now. Wait a little bit here. So that music is probably better than the sound of just bricks. The sound of just plates and stuff. I mean, I guess, What a sound. Hopefully nobody went deaf. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously one of the persons was stating they maybe underestimated the piano supply. But I'm wondering too is if people were going to the Lego store planning on spending money regardless, and the fact that a lot of the stuff maybe that they were looking for wasn't there. They figured they'd buy something. The piano is probably more of a good display piece than anything else that's there. I mean, so in the end, I mean, it isn't the fact that they maybe misinterpreted how much they were going to sell. It might be the fact that by pushing back a lot of other stuff, you pushed spending into that area that maybe, so people who maybe really wanted the piano who couldn't get the piano, are the ones that are probably going to be like, oh, well, this is crazy. You guys misinterpreted the demand or the supply. But maybe the other thing too is maybe by not having, all these other sets, Ninjago and all this other stuff. So I mean, I don't know what's in the stores. If anybody's been in the stores, they can let me know. I mean, was there some of the other sets that were supposedly supposed to come out months ago that are those now in the stores? I don't know. I mean, I'm not just going to jump up and run to the store just to run to the store. I mean, you know, if I knew it was there, if somebody was out shopping already and they've seen it, I mean, maybe I'll go to the store, but I'm not going to just run to run. I mean, you know, I enjoy this. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this and take this apart and do that. I mean, there's no point just running to the store, especially if there's nothing really I would want to buy anyways. Maybe some white base plates, but I mean, you know, those going from 5 to 8. I mean, luckily I bought lots of base plates when they were still $5 because I don't buy as much now. And I almost wonder if they could save a lot of that. I wonder if it's just truly the cost of them, or is it, you know, all that extra packaging and stuff? Could they just send them to the Lego stores and just sell them, you know, individually without the package and do it that way? Obviously, right now with the pandemic, they'd be kind of tough, but you know, post-pandemic, I mean, could they do that and save money? I mean, you know, you could, you know, maybe pay $8 for a base plate in a package at a store, retail store, or be able to get to a Lego store where you buy it bulk and you save money. I don't know. I guess it'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting topic. Somebody could, you know, tell me if somebody ever talks about that or whatnot. So I think I'm going to pull these off. Easier to take apart. I'm holding it. Definitely free up some space. It's kind of wild. I have so many clear plates. It's definitely weird to have an abundance of one piece. It is kind of weird, but you know, I like the texture on it too. I mean, I guess if they had more 1x2, 1x1 plate combinations on the wall, you know, in essence, it could be a different color, period. I mean, if there had been more of the different things. I mean, I think, you know, I built it, you know, other than other trans colors like trans red or trans green, but they were only 1x1s. They didn't have any 1x2 plates. It's one of those things where this kind of made the most sense from that. And I think the texturing actually looks pretty good. The CU project that Cowlug worked on has a lot of textured buildings with the plates of different colors, the red, orange, brown, or whatever type kind of thing, and that looked pretty cool. And unfortunately, my video with that, where I was actually showing it, was one of those ones that was pulled due to whatever, and so that one actually, after, you know, realizing that I'd done all that and it never even was live, was quite humorous too. So, but yeah, so because that's a good one if you can ever get up there, or even, I mean, I don't know if they'll post pictures of that anywhere online. I mean, I have a lot of pictures from when I saw it, but hopefully everybody's mocks will be pretty exceptional next year. That's what I'm thinking. Is I think people who are, you know, at least the ones that still have build time. I mean, I have a little bit. I don't have as much as I probably would have if I wasn't working, but just like anything else, there's stuff going on. So this is going to get out of my area for a while here, and you can see without the side. I mean, even at 5, it's still a little bendy. At 4, it was real bendy. So. But we're just going to do this here. It'll be a little bit easier to pull off. So I don't know if I can handle streaming this long. Let's see. I guess we'll play some music again. It's been a gap to play. Hopefully music is loud enough so you can hear music if I'm not talking. I don't know. I guess we're an hour in too. I guess probably some people who know me really well probably wondered when I would actually get to this, but Kevin probably won't be surprised. But I guess everybody always wonders why I'm upset with the fact that Lego let me go so surprisingly. And I got a lot of it comes down to the fact that I really thought that was my career. I thought Lego was going to be where I was going to be able to stay for the rest of my life. I went there probably in my 40s, And so I figured, okay, I found my niche. I like this. I love talking. I love dealing with the customers. Management isn't bad. I mean, it's one of those things where I treated the job as needing to be around or available at any given time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So I didn't do any classes or anything because I didn't know I should have had any. Was never told I needed to work on anything. And so it was one of those things where that's why I put a lot of the blame on my failure on upper management, DM and higher, where they just didn't, say, hey, how's it going? Hey, or hey, I saw your review. It doesn't look super awesome. What are you working on anything? To be prepared to make the next step. I mean, it just never was like that. I mean, the best one that maybe eventually would have said it was John Brady. But I mean, they moved this around in so many districts. I mean, in essence, Lego needs to blame themselves wholly for that, because if you move a store from district to district and you get new DMs, I mean, those people in those stores need more help than anyone, because you're moving them around to where they're having to relearn who's in charge all the time, and there's less chance of actually knowing somebody where they're actually watching you excel and whatever, because you're changing. I think in the course of working for Lego, I think I went through, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 district managers. I mean, how many other employees can say they stayed at the same store and went through 4 or 5 different district managers? I mean, in any company. I mean, really? I mean that's probably rare. And so, I mean, and I put the blame on that. I also put the blame, a lot of that, on super upper management, probably thinking that the AFL, the adult fan of Lego, just isn't the right employee to have because they're out for the discount, or they're out for that, or whatever their flawed mentality was. It's just one of those things where it's not. I mean, just like the perfect idea, I was on the inside ideas and doing stuff, and this tells you how messed up their thinking was. Every idea I ever made, they thought I was doing it for the adult fans. Yet, as an assistant manager and an employee that didn't have to work as hard as the other ones, once I got to that level, I had more time to listen to the customers and actually hear what they had to say. And that's what I did, especially with my love of the brick and ordering so many cool pieces, is I listened to what people had to say and tried to order what was available. And it was one of those things where over time, I mean, go look at the Lego stores. How many 2x2 and 2x4 45-degree slopes are there for building roofs, building a roof on a house? Probably not very many. Are there door frames and door windows, or are door frames and doors, or how about window frames and windows? I mean, they aren't as prevalent as they used to be. In the old days, they were out there a lot, and so you could build good things. You could build houses. You could do stuff. It's one of those things where I listened to, and that's why when I did the inside ideas, I was like, well, why don't you bring back the doors and windows kit? It's all in one kit. You don't have to worry about, filling the pick-a-brick wall, which you maybe think is a lot more work than that. You bring back that kit, or bring back the kit of the roof tiles. A lot of that stuff was available in the stores right as I was starting to come out of my dark age and shopping at Lego. But by the time I'd been with Lego a long time, they had already been gone. And that was kind of right after the time that Lego was, emerging out of the fact that they were no longer going to go bankrupt. And, it's possible that maybe they put the blame on a lot of those sets that maybe would have actually been a success later for Lego, that, they just didn't want to try. I mean, yet they're doing all these idea sets for some reason, even though they get 10,000 votes, I'd love to know how many of those 10,000 votes, are they all really original 10,000 votes, or are there people out there that have 5-10 accounts that are, boosting the actual image, so that when it comes out, I mean, it might not sell as great, but who knows? I mean, I love the idea behind Lego ideas. Don't take me wrong, I love it. And of course, if you're using the ideas from the adult fans there, why do you not want those super knowledgeable people, my voice, within the Lego stores? Those people are so knowledgeable. I mean, why would you not want them in there, in your stores, where they can help and inspire, the kids that are coming up that, would love to have inspiration more than just, the Lego sets. I mean, I was upset. I mean, it was one of those things where, but what's wild is the regulars were befuddled. I mean, all the regular customers that were in there a lot were dumbfounded. Like, what? And like, don't look at me. I mean, I don't make the decisions. I have no idea why. I mean, a lot of it comes back to like reviews and stuff. Well, I hate to even go there, but I didn't see any reviews. And so it's one of those things where, I can't fix what I don't know is wrong. So sorry, Lego. A lot of that comes back to you too again. So it's like it all kind of comes full circle and just loops back around. And it's like, I really wanted to work for Lego, and maybe try to get to the corporate office and whatnot. But obviously it's like, oh well. I know the one thing would be is, definitely the employees, if they were fans and they were going through this pandemic and laid off, those guys are the more dedicated people. They're the ones that would be coming back. When this is all said and done, how many employees that work for Lego are going to be the ones that are going to say, oh yeah, oh no, I had to find something else to do. I couldn't wait for you guys to rehire me back. Whereas the adult fan of Lego is going to would have been like, oh man, oh yeah. I found something else, but oh yeah, you want me back? I'll quit. Give me 2 weeks. I'll be ready to go. That's how good working for Lego was. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. There was, there's also those rumors that, the rumors that I heard too, that, later on after I was hired, maybe some of the assistant managers and the managers didn't make as much as some of the earlier ones. Well, the other thing too, I'd look at that and say, you know what? If you're paying me more, you were paying me more for a good reason. I was a salesman for your company, just like I thought I was working. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. I was in other stores selling Lego products. I don't do it as much anymore. I still help out and still kind of, I still, help make more knowledgeable consumers, the people buying Lego. But I don't, feel obligated to do it as much anymore. I do it as I do it more of an AFL now than I do for, a past Lego employee. I don't owe the company anything. They make a great product, but it's one of those things where, just disappointed the direction it went in regards to AFLs. They lost a lot of really good people. And I'm not going to say, there are still AFLs working there, but the bigger the AFL you are, the more outgoing you are, the more boisterous you are, the less chance you have of staying with Lego. Anybody wants to work for Lego now in the retail side, I'd say, do it and do it quietly. If you're a fan, I'd say make sure, you don't make headlines, I guess, or make waves. Unless you're going to be a designer. It's one of those things where it's a sad state of affair. I guess everybody's kind of been waiting for, that. But yeah. So my story is, I worked for Lego for 7 years. I started 9/9 of 2009. I had a great start date. That'll be in my memory for as long as I live. I think the exit date was probably, 12/31/16 or something. But it was one of those things where, I started at Colorado Mills. Kevin and I still kind of go back and forth, but I want to say I thought he was working there a week before he left to go to Arizona. But actually I would have started a little bit sooner, but I had a Bricklink store. And, that was one of the things I had to have it. I couldn't have one. So I closed it and hired a little bit later because somebody knew it started and I had asked about that. So they said, oh, this is your Bricklink store. So that day I went home and closed it and was hired a couple months later. Got that really cool hire date. 2/10 of 10. So less than 6 months. One of the supervisors quit. I want to say that was, I think, Robert Schuster, I think at that point had quit. And Sarah and Dan, one of Kevin's friends he went to school with, Daniel, Neither Sarah or Daniel wanted the full-time soup position, so they opened it up. And so actually, technically, by taking that, I skipped the part-time soup and went right to full-time soup, and went to that. I mean, obviously, that was kind of a life changer there too, because you know, I was a cable guy, probably making 45,000 a year, 50,000, whatever I was making. I don't know, I was making good money. Went to what, 25,000 or something, whatever I was making as a full-time supervisor. Probably, I mean, if I look back at my Lego career, probably the single-handedly biggest mistake I ever made was going full-time for Lego. I mean, I guess, you know, in the end, I know what I know now. I mean, if I knew I could have made 10 or 20 years at Lego working part-time, hesitantly, I wouldn't, without question, without doubt, I would not have gone full-time. You know, if I'd known I could have lasted a lot longer as a part-time person. I mean, I would have just not gone full-time. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where I should have known with their affiliation for wanting to have a bachelor's degree. I guess I should have known in the back of my mind that, hey, I should go back to school and try to get a bachelor's degree, because Lego thought that was great. Yeah, if you listen to Kevin's stories, I mean, they hired a lot of people with those bachelor's degrees, but not a lot of life experience, and they turned Lego on their heels and said, look at it, I'm going to just steal from you guys and do this and do that and whatnot. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, those of us, though, that had 30-some years of life experience, you know, we knew what you could and couldn't do for a company like that, but oh well. So, I mean, I was hired as full-time soup, 210 of 10, and then I moved to get closer to the store, which I think is quite hysterical. I moved closer, so I was more kind of closer, because I was doing cable part-time at that point, once in a blue moon, or maybe every weekend or every other weekend, or whenever I was free, I'd maybe do a day or two of cable. I can't remember, but I moved to get kind of centered between the two places. And then, of course, all the rumors started coming out that they were going to build a Lego store down south. And actually, I moved from down south. That's what made it so funny, is I moved from down south to that up north. I mean, that was when it was like, oh yeah, we're thinking. I mean, now granted, I might not have been able to afford as much the older apartment when I made the job change, but once they said they were building that new store, that was kind of interesting. And I did apply for ASM, assistant store manager. Obviously, I hadn't been with the company. I had only been with the company because I think that opened in 11, so I've been with the company maybe just under 2 years. But my manager knew me, as in someone else that had worked for the company part-time applied too, but didn't. I guess the manager didn't know him as well, and so he gave me the job. I mean, we watched the store getting built. That was kind of cool. Go down there, check it out. And so that opened in, I think, 2011. I'd have to go back and look. Wait, let's see here. 2011, because I think I was ASM for about 5 years. So helped do the grand opening for that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we had a good team. It was one of those things. Is Randy, one of my good friends. Actually, I need to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a while. Came over as the full-time supervisor, which has a story amongst its own. So I mean, that would be a good story for Randy to tell. But and so yeah, so I went there and did the assistant store manager, pick a brick wall, helped set up the store. Pretty awesome. But hey, Ingrid. So, but yeah, I mean, and then from there it was just 5 years of being an ASM. Did a couple Master Bill events, did a couple kids fests. It was good. I mean, we went through team members. I mean, like you do in any store. I mean, spent a lot of time at the I can't think of the name of the store across the way that had the massage chairs and stuff. I mean, spent time over there hanging out and sitting in the massage chairs on breaks and stuff. My feet love life there. So, but other than that, I mean, it was one of those things where, you know what, what's really strange is because my live thing is on there, I probably should have my My face should be a little lower, I guess. So you can see that my face is actually in this shot. So just taking apart some Lego. I mean, it's kind of ironic. I mean, I'm probably gonna end it here at about an hour and a half. So just kind of taking apart some of the older elements of Hope Castle. Ingrid, I actually was working on some of the stuff last night. So the new stem. I have my camera. So the new stem is actually a little bit narrower than the last one. Always a little bit more claustrophobic. And then I built a couple more of the clovers, smaller clover than before. So we're downsizing a little bit, not a lot. I mean, you know, it feels smaller, but it's only smaller by like a stud perimeter. So, and then basically I started taking apart one of the old stem pieces because I was actually working on building another clover and ran out of pieces and didn't really feel like digging into the really big gallon bag. So yeah, so that's what I was doing. I just figured I'd do a little bit of that today, kind of just sitting inside. Didn't really know what else to do today, and so I'm doing this. And my storage hasn't been super enjoyable lately. I mean, I think it's a little bit milder today, but still, I don't know. It all needs to get done before Brick World next year. And you know, I mean, I don't know if I'll hit any early shows next year. I mean, obviously, Brick Fair Virginia or Brick Fair Alabama is one that gets thrown into the discussion a lot. And I guess we'll see. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I won't have a castle to take, but I mean, I might have Memorial Tower and the barn I could take. But maybe I'll do the stem and then we'll be done for the day. So the stem will be pretty easy because it can all pretty much sit flat here. So yeah, other than that, that's just kind of my day. I streamed for 5 hours last night. We streamed through the release of what I would call pretty lackluster releases. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When I checked the weather earlier this morning, it was 70 or 80. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's probably was I'm sure a lot of YouTubers were hoping to do a lot of really cool videos today. You know, the guys that were hoping some of the other stuff was coming, but it sounds like some stuff got pushed. A lot of stuff got pushed back, and that kind of really deflated a lot of stuff. I mean, nothing really I want. I don't know if Ingrid, have you been to the stores or anything? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's been to the stores to see what's out there too. So, but I know the Mario stuff is out there, but I'm not jumping up and down about that. So, Kevin was here earlier. Mr. Hinkle was here earlier. He's out doing errands and laundry and all that stuff today. So. Oh, but I guess I was talking about my Lego story a little bit, and then midway through 2016, my manager, who I'd been with the whole time of my career, decided to leave Lego and go into real estate. And when he left, they interviewed my pal Randy, who had the ASM at the other store. I thought would have been a good choice. And said they hired somebody young who'd only been with the company. Oh yeah. I'm still waiting to hear too. I mean, I'm not sure. It sounds like maybe Chad's been busy or something, so I haven't heard from him either. I might maybe remind Hoosier tonight when I see him or whatever and see. Hey, dude, Jude. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been holding my money, but I'm kind of been hoping I haven't been spending it. So, but yeah, so my boss left. They did hire somebody younger. Been with the company, I think what I had heard was been with the company a year and a half, and a year of that was like almost half of that was on maternity leave, which I thought was quite humorous. But thought that'd be a good ASM, and so they moved that person halfway across the country from here in the Midwest to Colorado, took over, and I don't know. I mean, me thought, okay, whatever, this is cool. But early on, there were definitely some trust issues. I lost a lot of the trust for that person when they were cleaning the office, moving at 90 miles an hour, just throwing stuff around left and right. And you have to keep in context. My old boss was kind of a pack rat of sorts, kept a lot of stuff, maybe more than he should have. So I mean, I think we had multiple years of safety audits in our safety audit file. Might have even had all 5 years. And so the new manager was like, where's the safety audit for this month? And I go, hey, it was in the file with all the safety audits. And she was like, nope, it's not. And I go, yeah, it was, because I didn't even do it. It was, the supervisor, our full-time soup, did it. And it was one of those things where I think she just didn't like me from the get-go and was trying to undermine everything. And then of course I had special stuff from the kids that I knew that had cancer that passed away, Taylor and Justin. I had stuff in I had a stack of like file things, that were up on my shelf, or not my shelf, but on a shelf that I was saving, that I didn't have in a file. They were sitting there. I said, just make sure when you get to my stuff up there that you let me know so I can, come and save it. And so I kind of watched her, I'd come back every once in a while, check and watch their frantic pace of cleaning the desk. And, at one point I come back and I look and I notice the stuff isn't on the shelf anymore. It's in the trash. And I kind of just half-heartedly mentioned, hey, have you come to my stuff yet? I just want to make sure I get some of that stuff that I thought was really important. And she goes, oh, it's in the trash there. You can go ahead and pull it out of there if there's anything in there you wanted. So I'm like, she didn't even care. She cared not at all. I was like, you know what? At that point, I lost all just all respect for that manager right then and there. Gone, out the window. You did not care enough about your new ASM to realize that he had very special stuff about cancer kids in his folder and stuff. That just tells me, you know what? Your life at Lego is going to be very, very short if you don't listen to the people underneath you. And so, yeah. And of course, I would say I was very big for Lego, and I was a very, good person at the Lego store, very outgoing, very great with the customers. And, I felt, well, karma will deal its blow. And of course it did. That manager was gone shortly after, I think within 2 years. So their career was even half as long as mine. And the DM, the district manager that helped orchestrate my releasing from Lego, is also no longer with Lego. So, I mean, I would kind of say maybe Lego should have kept me. I mean, those people's careers might have been a little bit longer, had that happened. I mean, so, but, of course, well, my final thing, which was quite humorous, is in Denver, I have lots of friends. I was in the cable industry, so I knew lots of people. I was a bowler, knew lots of people through the bowling industry. And of course, I was in the Lego community. So, I mean, I had lots of networks out there. Well, one of my friends that bowled in the league I was in came in the store a lot. His kids liked to build Lego. He liked to build Lego. He was big into a lot of the Technic cars, like the really fancy ones. And so he was, and even some of the Speed Champion stuff. And so, I talked to him one time at bowling, and he goes, "Hey, did I tell you? Your manager came into the dealership to try and get a car." I was like, "Really? Wow, cool." He says, "Yeah." He says, "But I couldn't get her a car. I couldn't get her credit or whatever." I was like, "Oh, wow, that's terrible. That's terrible." And so I says, "Wow, that's bad," or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah, he says, "Yeah, but what, And so I says, "Well, what happened?" She left or whatever. He says, "But as she was leaving, I said, wow. By the way, I can't believe how you treated my boy Reed." And I just kind of had to laugh. Go, "Really? Wow, what'd she say?" And I mean, and I don't think he said anything. But he says, I don't know. I don't think she said anything. But it was just like funny. Her last thoughts probably were going, "Great. Now I can't get this car, but my ASM I got rid of is known well enough to where I'm not going to escape him." And so I'm like, I don't know if she's still out in Colorado, but probably hasn't been able to escape my shadow for many years if she is. So, but I, kind of laugh because a lot of those people probably one of the best bowling centers in Colorado that I worked at and frequented a lot is probably was down in that area. So, but I don't know if they ever knew the connection, but I know the people who bowled there did. So, but yeah, that was quite humorous. But yeah, so yeah, made it 7 years. I mean, it would have been nice to make it to 10 or whatever. I have a friend that my first soup that I ever hired actually, or my first employee I ever hired, made soup. What didn't make soup when we were there? My boss had, reservations about him. you know, a little bit. I did too. I mean, you know, there were parts that just, you know, I mean, he was very knowledgeable, Lego, very knowledgeable, but the look just was whatever. Yeah, that's fine, Ingrid. But it was one of those things where he was still there, and I don't know if he's going to make it to 10 or not. I know he's had some issues with health and whatnot. I don't know if he's going to make it to 10 years, but it'd be cool if he did. But yeah, so at the end of 2016, my Lego career was over, and I think I went back to cable. I did spend some time early in 2017 helping my friend Todd renovate his a couple of his rooms in his house. I did get to help him do some wiring and whatnot. You know, that was you know, good. I mean, when I wasn't sitting at home depressed and bored, you know, or doing stuff with Lego, I was, you know, definitely. And I think I was working at the bowling center too, so I worked working a little bit there too. I don't know if I ever really went full time there, but I mean, I went full time back to cable, and then I ended up getting stuck on some projects that in the end was something I couldn't get away from. And so in the end, when my landlord decided to sell the condo I was living in, I guess that was the break I needed to move back to Wisconsin. I mean, you know, a lot of my friends here, one of my friends here is married, has kids, and I think his kids are almost grown, but he's definitely successful, whatnot, more so than me. I'm successful, I guess, within this realm, somewhat. I guess the castle is. I'm not. But my other friend, one of my friends that was into Lego, is single, but he went cold turkey years ago, John, and haven't talked to him really since. I mean, once he went cold turkey, I talked to him a little bit. We talked when I was on the phone. I talked to him. In the end, I really haven't talked to him in a while. He slammed the door on me a couple times. We're just afraid we're just going to talk Lego yet. I think we did a lot of gaming early on. StarCraft, I know he kicked my butt in that, and other stuff, Age of Empires. I mean, so we played a lot of games, probably more so than Lego. The Lego only came, yeah, when I was here, we played games, lots of gaming. When I moved to Colorado, eventually that was where the Lego kicked in. But yeah, so I mean, we don't talk at all, and I mean, I don't have a lot of friends here. I mean, obviously, you know, it'd be nice to have like a girlfriend or something. I guess the one in Colorado or the one in Wisconsin that I like, I get to see maybe once a week, hopefully if I'm lucky. But other than that, you know, I build Cope Castle and do stuff in Whistler when we're doing stuff. I mean, obviously, the pandemic's kind of slowed everything down these days for the most part. So, you know, obviously, if the weather's crappy, I'll be in here doing this, or even if I don't want to be outside. I mean, I'll sit and work on the castle a little bit. You know, let's see. It's nice to have grand ideas for the castle. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, the only thing that's really making the big rounds today is obviously the fact that I think a lot of people were hoping for a much better release of sets from Lego today, and that didn't happen. So, but yep. So this is just taking apart plates. I use the brick separator because obviously there's not really another good way to do this unless I try to just break it apart. But the other kicker too is it's most of the castle stuff. If I can tweak it, but with the way the mills were set up, is it was meant to everything just drop into place, you know, nice and easy using tiles and stuff. So made setup a lot easier. It'll probably still be something like that in the future, but I might, instead of having just even wall modules, a lot of the underside modules, the dungeons, the kitchens, all that stuff, that might just drop into place too, because the goal is to have 2 high, so I have lighting underneath wherever I want lighting, and then above that it'll be probably 8 high, which will be maybe, you know, some, you know, underground stables, underground kitchen, underground weaponry, all that stuff. That's kind of, you know, armory. So I mean, the goal would be to be able to take plates and just kind of lift off, you know, the courtyard and whatnot of the castle. So that's the ultimate goal. So we'll see how well that goes. I still need to to get it going. I've done a little bit of it, but need to look at how I'm going to do the rock work too on the outer edges, because I'd like to, you know, that the goals have a lot higher. Since the castle really doesn't have that big of a courtyard, and the courtyard gets a little bit bigger with this remodel, it'd be nice to have maybe stuff under the courtyard, inside, you know, the iceberg or whatever the ice castle is sitting on, and so that'll be the goal. So, I don't know. It played through a third loop. It did. So. But yep, so it looks like I've got 3 layers left, so we're getting close. We're getting close. Predict maybe a 2-hour stream. Maybe, we'll see. Other than that, just kind of whatever. I don't know, I just been gaming. Play games, you know. I don't know if I'll play any World of Warships today. I don't know if I'm in that mood. I'm kind of playing the strategy game. A bit more structure to that. Build up villages. Conquer other European countries, you know, stuff like that. Or conquer other what do I want to call it? Other outposts from other countries. Usually this game, I mean, that usually happens later in the game. I usually don't even have an army early enough to really do it early in the game. So we're just gonna. Other than that, I mean, I guess in terms of any of the upcoming sets, I'm looking forward to. I mean, obviously the dragons from Ninjago, the Master Wu's dragon. I probably could use that in the ice castle. It's kind of some kind of a snow dragon. Maybe try and work on that. I mean, I'd like to find somebody actually had designed, and it might have been something from some kind of a movie or whatnot, like a nice rideable polar bear. I saw it out on the internet at one point and took pictures of it. I mean, it'd almost be kind of cool to have something like that for the ice bears to ride. I don't know if I think I had it in my. I wonder if I had it in here. Oh, it might be my favorites. Let's see here. Should be, even though it's not mine, but it's actually someone else's. Crap, I don't have it. Should have saved it, but somebody had a really cool, like, rideable animal that they had used. It was a polar bear. Pretty awesome. Maybe it is farther back here. Hard to tell with all the shows and all the pictures I have. It's kind of figure out. No, I don't think it's back that far. And let's see here. With 10,000 pictures, it's a matter of trying to find the one I'm looking for. But it was a pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat polar bear that would be probably a nice, cool animal to have the ice bears riding. I mean, obviously, it was a pretty good-sized animal. That's the only kicker is it was a pretty good size. Oh, there was the other frickin' mock I wanted to build. I went past that picture. A historical Wisconsin building. Well, let's see here. I lost a viewer. Let's see here. I'm trying to look fast enough so I don't lose viewerships by being bored. So I guess we can play some more music while I'm freaking looking here. This is Past is the name of this song. The problem is I need to go through and move a lot of these pictures off of this camera. A lot of it's kind of like inventory style pictures too, where I was counting stuff as I was moving it around. Lots of set pictures because I've been trying to sell sets and stuff. I guess I really need to, if I take those off, I need to save them just so I can, I think it's right, I think it's coming up right here. I think it's right in this neck of the woods here. Just, I think. Come on, where is it? Oh, pictures from Train Fest Milwaukee with John from Denver, who organizes the Rocky Mountain Toy Train Show. He was in Milwaukee last year for the Train Fest in Milwaukee, and so basically ran into him, took a picture of him. Well, what is going on here? Storage pictures. Pictures of Kevin on his head. Oh, where is that? Man, oh man. I guess you never really realize how many pictures you got on your camera until you start scrolling through looking for one particular image and going, oh wow, look at all that stuff. I could spend a day just going through all these pictures trying to figure out what I want to do with them. Man, oh man, I thought it was near some stuff. I wonder if I already moved it off the camera onto like a desktop or something, or a pen drive. Hope not, because I think I'm wondering, I did move some pictures and I'm hoping they didn't get corrupted, because pictures are, I don't know if you can fix files once they're messed up. That's the problem. I need to clean those up before anything else happens to them. He was mistaken. Maybe it's in this neck of the woods in here. And you know what? I might have to just give up. I don't see it. Well, there's the badgers. I was working on them. I haven't worked on them in a while. I need to work on them again, painting those skinnet heads for more badgers. Need to always make sure I have stuff for them, the armor. So, man, this is crazy. This is nutty. If I find this, I got to make sure I favored it. I thought I did, but obviously not. That or it was always easy to find before, and now it's 5,000-6,000 pictures in, and I was running so many, it always tends to look alike, and my eyes are just loving this so much. Thank God my contacts aren't in, because it would really be hard to see. Okay, here it is. I found it. They're favorited. So this guy is kind of the one I was kind of thinking would be pretty awesome. Is this that bear? That bear was pretty cool. Yeah, I think there was somebody, or that one. That was kind of a cool one too. Or someone was riding it. That was pretty neat. Something like that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I might have to do my research to see who built that and see if they'd be willing to give up the plans for that. That'd be kind of neat. Because after a while, the brain just kind of fizzles on some of the ideas for that, some of that stuff. I mean, obviously, I still want to tweak dragons and stuff to make it work. And, you know, I freaking was going to be. Actually, with that 5 or 10 minutes I lost there will be enough to still keep this under 2 hours if I can get this apart. Half of it's at 2 levels tall. I mean, too bad I keep building and not taking apart. I probably should have been counting these plates to figure out truly what I have, but this would have been the time to do it. I mean, I guess I did see the pictures of where I did kind of have a lot of it taken apart once before, but I think there's always been one section that's always been built. I don't think I've ever had town and castle walls all taken apart at the same time. It was something where there was always something. probably because I was displaying the castle for a long time, or the town. That was my main showpiece for like libraries and stuff, and now that's gone. But it opens up more for the castle. I mean, the town, I guess, was the town, and it was good and it was great. But in the end, I think, you know, if I look back at the Campbell brothers castles that really got me back into building, wanting to build castles, was seeing their display at Brickworld 2012, which was my first Brickworld. Was their castle really, I think one of them kind of had a castle in a town, but one of them had like the town was like in the castle walls, pretty crowded in there. I mean, I don't mind, I guess, going back to a crowded type setup. That's not a bad idea, having it all nice and tight in there. And then the nice thing is too, I mean, with the walls, I mean, the ice bears have been in the walls, you know, before. I might just try and do more of a, I guess, a portable bunk bed, I guess, per se, for maybe, you know, in case I want to build like a barracks or something underneath the castle, I would have that ability to do so. So I guess that's kind of the goal behind some of it, is to try to, I mean, the goal is to have the bears, you know, as set up as possible. So I don't have as much set up for the bears, even though it's nice to add them. But I think the more I have to set up, the less humor stuff I get to put out. And that's the fun stuff, is just having some, you know, crazy humor out there. People always laugh and go, "Why do you need it?" I go, "Well, I mean, you've got kids that are looking at your castle. You want, or even at your mocks, you want that crazy humor out there for the kids to look at and go, well, why is Kylo Ren in the porta potty tipped over?" And you just go, well, his main he was criticizing his main sanitation expert. You know, I mean, come on, you know, I mean, you just gotta have fun with stuff. You know, I mean, and that's, you know, the goal is your audience is, you know, mainly kids, and so you want the kids to, you know, you want the awe factor, like, oh. But you also want that, you know, the factor where they can laugh and point and go, whoa, or is that the Golden Ninja, or is that, you know, is that like an Arctic Batman, you know, or, you know, and that's kind of the goal, is if you can get the kids to recognize, you know, parts, or like, wow, why do you have so many of the Ice Bear, or why do you have so many of this character? And that's kind of those things where anybody who's building an army for a castle or some kind of military installation knows that you want a lot of soldiers and people in your armies and stuff, just because, I mean, that's what everybody looks at. You know, they look at that and see it. I mean, Michael Frederick, who has been the one that's been sieging Hope Castle the last couple of years, has had that large Napoleonic battle at Brickworld for a few years, and then went to the pirate ships last year. And luckily, I tweaked my Imperial flagship, edited it a little bit, and I mean, kept the main shape, but changed it up a little bit, and had the custom sails, the leopard print sails, and I brought that and put that over in the mix of all his flotilla of sailing ships. You know, it's one of those things where even during the walkthrough, you know, Joshua Hamlin noticed a ship back there, and, you know, if you looked at it and the kids looked, they would have probably seen that interesting looking sailing ship in the background. And so it's one of those things where you always have to add that fun stuff to your displays. And so that's why I have lots of the CMFs and lots of animals, and the CMFs make their appearances out there. The CMFs, the animals, they all do. I mean, I have a bunch of the Dimensions kits too, so I probably need to, you know, pull out ET and get him out there at some point too. And I guess we'll see from that and whatnot. So I don't know. I think I'm running out of gas here pretty quick here. Should be tired, but I haven't eaten much, so I mean, it's definitely at the close to the 2-hour mark. I'll probably be ending this stream, probably getting something to eat. Might come back, but I might stream one of my old games. We'll see if I can stream the to let me stream that old game from. It's on Steam. We'll see if it'll let me stream it. I'm playing it in a Windows mode anyways right now, so we'll see how well that works. And I need to tweak that again. Used to be able to play it full screen, but we'll see. So we're almost there. We're at about 4.5 minutes, and I've only got looks like 2 strips of that base to see. So I'm looking for that beard. Might not have hurt this at all. So, and you can see how flimsy it is now. It's just, you know, see, it's so flimsy it fell apart. So, so plates, you know, when they get to be in numbers, we saw that in Lego Masters. I mean, plates, as you know, as they get thicker, they become a lot stronger and whatnot. So in essence, I mean, you know, the only way to really make Hope Castle super huge is if I guess they made some like really big clear stuff, like maybe 4x8 plates or something. That would be, you know, something that might be able to add a little bit to it. I don't know if that would help or hurt it, you know, with the current designs of a lot of the stuff that's the keep and all that. Maybe the stem might use a lot less pieces, but in the end, you're still intertwining and you know, using that interlocking and the clutch power of the brick and plates. It's just plates take a long time to build, and as you can see, they take a while to take apart too. This is only the first of 3 stems, and so that means I've been working on this for not the whole stream, but a good part. Let's see, what did I do? I did the clover, started building the clover, and the clover's only got 1.5 levels done. So we're at about 3 minutes. This is going to be, I think by the time I take it apart and get it bagged, it'll be at the end of the 2-hour mark. At least hopefully for some of the stream there'll be music and stuff, so people who want to rewatch some of the destruction of this can. Obviously building is probably more exciting, but even with clear it's tough. You can see a little bit of substance here, but I mean, I have to figure out how to maybe put different tiles on there to make it a little bit. I'm gonna have to go with a darker tile maybe. You have purple tiles somewhere floating around here. I don't know if I brought them or not. Okay, look at that. We're at 2 minutes to dump. That, or I guess maybe if I dig through my boxes, maybe I'll have to hunt for my scale and maybe weigh some of this stuff. There we go. Some more clear plates to play with. So this is kind of how far I got. I guess I got a minute and a half now to start. So this is kind of, you know, so this will be clover number 4, and obviously with the one with the hole might actually get used at the base level of the castle if I put a staircase into the dungeon underneath or whatever. So, or actually maybe some maybe what we need is the early bomb shelter perhaps. I need probably Kevin to take my really cool design that he did and probably just, you know, figure out a way to have that so that, you know, the head, you know, you do this on a t-shirt so the neck is right there, so it looks like I'm riding on a squirrel on a shirt, you know, type thing. So, but I think we're going to end it for this this build. I might maybe do some later, but it's already 3:30, which means we're going to probably start getting close to a lot of the afternoon streams. Would be my guess. You know, obviously Saturday Night Lego will start up in a few hours too. So, but thanks to everybody who watched a little bit. But I guess we'll catch you guys later. Have a great day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.